everybody! 大家好! I welcome you to Jade Palace Yamingo. My name is Yaya. Are you ready for the new year? Chinese New Year, that is. Let's get started with this year's Chinese New Year series. Chinese New Year is all about traditions, and as tradition, we will be uploading a video every week up until the new year, which is early this year, January 22nd. And yearly disclaimer, I understand that this holiday is celebrated by many different cultures, but I will be calling it Chinese New Year as I am talking about the Chinese cultural traditions. The year of the tiger is almost over as we welcome in the year of the rabbit. But did you know that there are several notable rabbit icons in Chinese mythology? Since it's the new year, let's start with the zodiac rabbit. The rabbit comes in fourth of the zodiac cycle, after the tiger, but before the dragon. Wait, since the zodiac cycle is based on a race, how did a rabbit outrun a dragon? The rabbit story is that it did not wake up as early as the rat or ox. But during the race, rabbit and tiger were both fast and competitive. But tiger was faster. Both animals had problems with the river, the final obstacle of the race. But tiger is also bigger, which means that it was able to swim across the strong currents, so tiger finished before the rabbit. Rabbit was right behind the tiger as it jumped stone to stone in order to try to cross. It was doing very well. However, it slipped. Thankfully, a log was floating by and allowed the rabbit to grab on to stay afloat. During this time, Dragon happened to come by and see the rabbit floating on the log. He gave it a little puff of air to help the log reach the shore, which is how rabbit came in fourth place of the Chinese zodiac before the dragon. Because of this, the zodiac rabbit and all those born under its year are considered the luckiest of the zodiac animals. Next is the rabbit god, 兔儿爷, not to be confused with 兔儿神, which is another rabbit god that I'll talk about in a future video. 兔儿爷 is the rabbit god or Lord Rabbit. He is a Chinese folk deity unique to Beijing. Here you can find his traditionally crafted sculptures. In many of his traditional depictions, he is either riding a tiger, dragon, qilin, deer, horse, or sits on a lotus throne. But you can also find representations of him standing alone as well. His appearance has tiger eyes and leaf-like eyebrows. Mouth shapes would differ from rabbit to rabbit. Lord Rabbit will usually be wearing a golden armor with a coat styled after court officials from ancient times, but outfits can also differ depending on who commissioned the statue. He does have a female counterpart, 兔儿奶奶. Depending on the folklore, she can either be his wife or the same deity, as some legends have the rabbit god changing his appearance according to different situations. So 兔儿奶奶 can actually be Lord Rabbit, just in feminine clothing. According to historical records, the deity first appeared around the beginning of the Ming Dynasty, and his worship thrived during the middle of the Qing Dynasty. However, folk art is less popular, which means that his worship is fading from modern society. What was originally made for shrines is now a toy for children. Legend of his beginnings was that long, long ago, northern China was facing an epidemic, and there was nothing the doctors can do. In order to save the people, the moon goddess sent her pet rabbit to help the citizens. Due to his white fur, people refused to allow him to enter their houses, as the color white is linked with death. Realizing this, the rabbit rushed to a local shrine and donned on an outfit similar to the immortals. This allowed the people to accept his help, which saved them, which is why the rabbit god is depicted the way he is for worship. This does mean that he is also related with moon worship, as he is the moon rabbit belonging to the moon goddess, Chang'e, leading us to our next rabbit icon. Perhaps the most famous rabbit in Chinese mythology is the Yu Tu, or Jade Rabbit. He is usually depicted as the cute companion of Chang'e, the moon goddess. But the rabbit on the moon actually predates her ascension myth. We've covered his origin myth in a previous Mid-Autumn Festival video, but the simple breakdown is that the Jade Emperor was looking for someone to make the elixir of life. He sought out a fox, a monkey, and a rabbit and asked them for food. The rabbit couldn't find anything, so he jumped into the fire to sacrifice himself. The Jade Emperor was touched by his selflessness, saved him, and carried him to the moon. The reason that he is called the Jade Rabbit was because the Jade Emperor turned his fur pure white, and the glow from it is said to be like that of precious jade. Ancient belief is that he is also the incarnation of Alioth, the brightest star in the Ursa Major constellation. That is the origin of the Jade Rabbit. Well, at least the most popular version. The depiction of the rabbit on the moon goes back even further. His original name is Yue Tu, moon rabbit. The existence of the moon rabbit predates the myth of the Jade Rabbit. Original beliefs was that there were two animals that embodied the moon, the rabbit and the toad. Why did they believe that these animals were on the moon? It was most likely due to pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon in which the brain creates familiar images or patterns where none exist. Ancient people would gaze at the moon, and in the shadows of the lunar seas, they could make out the shape of a toad and a rabbit. Over time, the importance of the moon toad disappeared, while the following of the moon rabbit grew. How the rabbit appeared on the moon would differ between dynasties and cultures. Early historical records that mention the moon rabbit include the Western Han Dynasty's Chu Ci, an anthology of Chinese poems from the Warring States period. In some poems, we have descriptions that, along with the toad, there is a rabbit on the moon pounding herbs for the immortals. This description would then evolve into the rabbit pounding medicine with a mortar and pestle while sitting under an asmanthus tree. He brings good luck to the people on earth, which is why in Tuoye's story, the moon goddess sends him to help the people with their epidemic. This imagery has also influenced other Asian cultures, as Japan and Korea both believe in the moon rabbit, only that he is making rice cakes instead of pounding medicine. Han Dynasty poets would call the moon rabbit Jade Rabbit or Gold Rabbit, and these terms would be used synonymously with the word for moon. Moon rabbit notions are further supported in texts from later dynasties, such as the imperial readings of the Taiping era encyclopedia from the Song dynasty. Over time, his myth would overlap with the myth of Chang'e, which is why now he is seen as the moon goddess's pet. What's interesting is that prior to the Han dynasty, people believed that male rabbits didn't exist, that there were only female rabbits. They would get pregnant gazing at the moon and spat out their babies from their mouths, which is how the name originated for rabbits in Mandarin. 兔子 is how it's written now, but originally it was most likely 兔子. 兔 means spit and 子 means child, so it translates to spitting out babies. I actually don't understand how this belief came to be. When they hunted rabbits in ancient times, did I not notice that some of them had extra bits? However, this belief was corrected later on, as we see in the Ballad of Mulan from the Northern and Southern dynasties, especially in the last few lines. 雄兔脚扑朔，雌兔眼迷离，两兔傍地走，安能辨我是雄雌? Translating to, the male's feet keep moving, while the female rabbit's eyes are bright. When they are running together, can you tell which is male and female? Rabbits, especially white ones, are seen as symbols of longevity in traditional Chinese culture. which is ironic since, as I said, white is associated with death, which is why Turye was originally refused by the people. And in terms of yin and yang, rabbits are considered yin animals. Make sure you have new clothes for the new year by checking out my Teespring store. I have a lot of super cute designs like this Year of Hama one, so please check it out if you can. Link is in the description below. So what do you guys think? Does your culture have important rabbit icons? Leave a comment down below cause I would like to know. This is the first video of this year's Chinese New Year series. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Jade Palace Yamingong. I would very much appreciate it. 兔年快乐，再见啦，拜拜。